Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you are joining us from. My name is Leah, and I will be your moderator today. This webinar is co hosted by Emeritus Professor Dr. Ng Kuan Hong and Dr. Ng Aik Hao from the University of Malaya, assisted by Natsai Vanessa from London, UK. Thank you very much for taking the time to be with us today. Before introducing our speaker, I'd like to briefly share who we are. The Medical Physics Leadership and Mentoring Group is a global community dedicated to supporting and guiding early career medical physicists. Our mission is to provide mentorship, networking, and educational opportunities to help the next generation of professionals thrive in the evolving field of medical physics. We regularly organize meetings and webinars on a wide range of topics aimed at empowering young medical physicists to grow as future leaders through the mentorship and shared learning. To learn more about us or watch our previous sessions, you can find us on YouTube, Medical Physics Leadership and Mentoring channel. On our YouTube homepage, you will also find links to our website, Facebook, and Instagram pages. Please remember to like this video and subscribe to our channel. It really helps us to reach more people. Thank you again for joining us today. We're very happy to have you with us. Today's speaker is Dr. Chin Lung Ong, a medical physicist working in radiotherapy in the Netherlands. Dr. Ong Chin Lung is a medical physicist with a strong foundation in radiation oncology. He earned his master's degree in medical physics from University Science Malaysia before receiving a research fellowship to pursue his PhD at VU University Medical Center in Amsterdam, where he completed his defense in 2011. His work has contributed to numerous publications in stereotactic radiotherapy and treatment planning. Dr. Ong has built his career across leading Dutch institutions and continues to advance clinical radiotherapy practices. Without further ado, we will warmly welcome Dr. Ong. Today's webinar is a global degree that fits your porte-monnaie. We will be taking questions at the end of the 30-minute talk. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to comment below and we will or leave them in the chat and we will answer them. Before I hand over to Dr. Ong, I'd like to pass the floor to Emeritus Professor Ng Kuan Hong to say a few words.
Hi, thank you, Leah. Welcome everybody to this session. I'm Emeritus Professor Ng, University of Malaya, as the founder, a current director of this International Medical Physics Leadership and Mentoring Group. I welcome all to join us, be first time or repeated participation. Time passes very fast. Soon we will be celebrating our teen anniversary. The teen, TIN, SN, will be 10-year-old by next year. We'll be having lots of activities with older founding mentees and newer ones as well. So they look out for this and activities. I'm glad that we have grown organically over those 10 years. We're still surviving, we are still interacting, collaborating with one another. And I encountered Dr. Ong quite coincidentally. Didn't hear from him for a long while. Wonder what happened to him. Uh, anyway, that is refreshing to know he's been doing well. And he'd like to share with us his journey uh, in Amsterdam, in Europe, and also sharing with us about his Porte-monnaie. You might have wondered what it is. You might have Googled it to know. So hopefully, towards the end, he will have some Porte-monnaie with lots of euro to share with us to help us in some of the research or traveling. Thank you very much. So over back to you, Leah.
Thank you very much, Emeritus Professor Ong. I'll now hand the floor over to Dr. Ong. Over to you, Dr. Ong.
Yes. Thank you very much. So, first of all, I would like to thank Prof. Ng and Dr. Ng for organizing this, and thank you, of course, for Leah for to join us also, and everyone watching now live. So, the title of my presentation is a global degree that fits your portemonnaie. So, this might sound a little bit vague right now, but I will get more into that later. First, a little bit about myself. So my name is Chin. I'm currently working in the Haga Second House in The Hague, in Netherlands. So for those who are interested, so this is where The Hague is. It's somewhere between Amsterdam and Netherlands and Rotterdam in Netherlands. And yeah, so a little bit about my institute. So Haga Ziekenhuis is actually part of a bigger radiotherapy group. So we are like a radiotherapy group with LUMC. So it's a university hospital in Leiden and another hospital in Delft. So together we have like nine linacs. And next year there will be also a MR linac coming in LUMC. And together we also have a very close collaboration with HPDC, which is a proton center. And yeah, I'll leave it myself. So Prof already told you, so I will share with you also a little bit about my journey, how I came from. So I'm originally from Malaysia, so how I came from Malaysia to this very, very small country in West Europe. This is my background. So first I did my bachelor in health physics in University Technology Malaysia. And then I did my master in University Science Malaysia. And after my master, I came to Amsterdam to do my PhD. And after my PhD, I did my medical physicist in training in Maastricht Clinic in Maastricht, also in Netherlands. And after my residency, I've been working as qualified medical physicist in the Haga Ziekenhuis. So today the presentation, this part will more focus on my PhD program in Amsterdam. And yeah, and throughout this presentation, you might hear I use the word promotion quite a lot. So there's actually, first of all, there's a very specific word where I use here in Netherlands, and that kind of means actually the graduation ceremony or the commencement. So yeah, it's kind of like you get promoted to a PhD title. So, and this is my thesis. The cover of my thesis is about volumetric modulated arc therapy for stereotactic body radiotherapy. And in this thesis, we're looking into the planning consideration, delivery accuracy, and efficiency. So first, I would like to share a little bit with you my PhD. And this is the content of my thesis. As you can see, yeah, the first chapter is the introduction. And then the second chapter and until the 7 chapters is the publication. And after that, you have the discussion. This is my 4 years of my PhD. So I started in 2008. And of course, in the beginning, there are a lot of learning. There are a lot of things that I have to get used to. And as you can see, a big part of the thesis is actually a publication. So that is really, really important, at least for the PhD here. So I can remember that at the end of my first year, I still haven't get my publication out. I still haven't get my paper out, and all my supervisors are getting a little bit nervous. But yeah, luckily, so after the first year, I get an average of 2 papers a year. And yeah, eventually I managed to finish my PhD within the 4 years. So let's get a little bit in depth into the PhD structures here. So as I was telling you, the PhD or the thesis is actually just a computation of a publication. So everything you have written, everything is published, will be put into your thesis. And when it's time to write your thesis, you just have to add the introduction, discussion, and acknowledgement. And then this thesis will be sent to a reading committee. The reading committee will first go through your entire thesis, and then they will decide if the thesis has enough like quality for your defense. And once they agree, then you can like pick a day for your defense. And before I get in deeper, so I would like to go through a little bit all the chapters that I have. So this is my very first article. So it's about a stereotactic radiotherapy for peripheral lung cancer. And yeah, it was, I think in 2009, that was the beginning of what we call rapid arc. So now I think most of the people only know it as a VMAT. And yeah, so this is my very first project or my very first article where I have to learn like quite a lot of different planning technique and comparing them to compare, like what is the advantage of VMAT. And then moving to the second article, it is more focusing on the treatment of large stage 1 and 2 tumor with stereotactic body radiotherapy. And here we are looking more into the planning consideration and correlated it to the early toxicity. And the third article, and then the third and the fourth article focus actually more on the accuracy. So like the delivery accuracy in this article, for example, we are looking into the dosimetry impact of interplay effect of VMAT for lung delivery, because in VMAT, as you know, there are so many moving compartments, and then there are also for lung tumor, you have also a moving tumor. So there we are looking into what is the possible interplay effect. And for the fourth article is the calculation accuracy for VMAT planning. And the fifth and the sixth article, again, is focused more on triple F, the flattening filter free delivery, also in combination with VMAT. And in this chapter, I was looking for the fast arc delivery, so the VMAT and FFF for stereotactic body radiotherapy for vertebra and lung tumor. So its feasibility and what the advantage is. And of course, with FFF is much higher dose rate. So if there's any intrafraction motion, the dose deviation could be much higher. So in the sixth article, I'm looking more into the dosimetry impact of intrafraction motion during this high dose rate VMAT delivery. So that's a little bit of all my publication during my PhD time. And of course, all this data, all these articles, so before it was published, it was also submitted to a lot of different conference. And here I listed out a few of the big conference that have submitted my data. And of course, it was accepted for Astro and Astro to different degrees. Some of them was accepted as oral presentation and some of them as a poster. So, and coming back to the defense, as I understand, the defense here in Netherlands is also quite different from the defense in the other country. So first of all, the defense here is a public event. So like, for example, here, you can see my invitation was in 2012. And you can invite everyone, you can invite your friends, you can invite your family. And on the panel is the reading committee. So they are usually includes a professor from the same and from different field. And then during the defense is only 1 hour, you get 10 minutes to very short, very quickly, and very basic to present what your work is, and then followed by the 45 minutes of defense or the Q&A, so the real defense. And after this, it will be an evaluation, and if everything is okay, then it's a graduation. But as I told you, usually before the defense, the reading committee has already go through your thesis, and they all agree that this work is enough to have your defense. So usually in Netherlands, the defense is more or less ceremonial, I would say. So a big percentage, 95% of people who went to the defense will be successfully graduated, I would say. And by the way, so I'm now actually talking about my experience here in Netherlands, but most of these, if I'm not mistaken, they are also applied to the neighboring countries like Belgium or Germany. So if I'm not mistaken, they all have almost the same system. So the required published paper for your thesis is also very much depending on the field. So for example, in radiotherapy, they will usually require a minimum of 5 to 6 articles. And this article has to be published in a peer-reviewed journal. And out of these 5 or 6 articles, at least 4 of them you have to be first author. So these are kind of the requirement for the PhD defense here. And yeah, just coming to the second part, which I think is very important, meaning yeah, a global degree that fits your portemonnaie. So I have already talked a little bit about the global degree, and for those who are not very familiar with this word, portemonnaie means it's actually a French word, but also a Dutch word, means your wallet. So of course, like going abroad, studying somewhere, or doing something, PhD or master, it probably will cost a lot of money, and a lot of you might think, yeah, this is probably a step too far for me because, yeah, without any scholarship or without anything, it might be a very heavy financial burden. But yeah, so this is why I would like to give this presentation to let you know that, yeah, actually it is quite possible to do it if you really want to. Because in my case, in my experience, I did my PhD without any support, neither any scholarship or from family. And why is that? Because again, this is not only in Netherlands, but also in Belgium and maybe France or Germany, a PhD candidacy is actually kind of a job, a vacancy. So you can go online and look for this vacancy. And if you are hired as employee, as a researcher. So of course, by that you do get a salary. And here, yeah, I have two example for PhD position here in Netherlands. So you do get paid, and of course, you don't have to pay any tuition fee also. And yeah, this amount, of course, they are not a big amount, especially after heavy tax here in Western Europe, where sometimes you get like an income tax up to 50%. But this amount is at least enough to carry you through for the 4 years time. And here I have, for example, other vacancy currently open in Belgium. And this is another one in Germany. It's called the DKFZ International PhD Program. I'm not very familiar with this program, but it is a program funded by the German Cancer Research Center, where they are focused actually a lot on, of course, cancer research. And this is a very highly competitive program, and it recruits international students with excellent academic records. And as you can see, for example, for this year, the online application is still open until 15 December 2025. So for those who are interested, maybe after this presentation, go and have a look and yeah, check out. And yeah, so of course, so far I've been talking about all these vacancy. There are, of course, also quite some important requirement. First of all, you need to have your master degree in your own country. And because the thesis itself focus quite a lot on publication, so you need to have like a good command of English language. And the third one, this can be a little bit tricky. So it's called the academic credential evaluation. So for us coming outside of Europe, sometimes you need to have your certificate verified, or should I say translate to the local standard. So in that case, you need to prepare your transcript from your bachelor level and master level, and then you have to send it to a certain company in the country that you want to apply it. And with your transcript, with all your transcript, they will kind of translate it to what the local levels is, and then they will issue you a certificate. So yeah, unfortunately for us outside Europe, this would be a first step. And finally, as I mentioned before, the thesis, it focused very much on publication. So if you have any publication beforehand, this will help a lot during your application. For me, for example, I did have the opportunity to publish a paper during my master degree, where we were looking into the GE Doppler fiber as thermoluminescent dosimetry, and this paper I got published. And I do have to say that without this publication, I think it would be quite difficult for me to get hired. So publication, especially a review publication, if you have any, it not only it shows like you're familiar with the situation or with the what has to be done later in your PhD study, but it also show like the level of um, yeah how would I say that, so a level of efficiency in or how you can handle analytic to analyze your data and then to present it, and most importantly to write it. Yeah, so yeah, I would say, we all often say a picture is worth 1,000 words, but in the academic world, especially if you want to go further, a peer review publication is worth 1,000 words. So it doesn't matter what, how fancy your CV is, how many reports you receive during your bachelor or master study, it is not as appreciated as a peer review publication. So during your bachelor and master study, whatever research you do, try to get it published in a peer review journal. And of course, this is just a very small part that I would like to continue. So after my PhD, of course, I did a medical physicist in training. That is another 4 years program in Netherlands. And yeah, if you have the opportunity to do that, to do a PhD, you can also think of the transition. And there are always two paths. First is the postdoc, where you can continue doing the same research. And yeah, so this transition, this part is actually much easier because probably everything is still, you're still familiar with your own research and everything is still carrying out in English. But yeah, if you are interested in a broader aspect like me, then you probably would like to do the residency in the same country. And that is, I would say, a little bit more challenging because in the local hospital, you always have to speak and understand the local language. So in my case, during my 4 year PhD, I was like doing 7 different courses to learn Dutch. So I would say that like more than half of my PhD contract, during half of my PhD contract, I was actually busy also with the language. Yeah, so this is a very short presentation of my presentation. I would like to hear more from you. And finally, to my conclusion, for those who are interested in all these opportunities, I would say that Google is really your best friend and your mentor, because uh, everything, every opportunities, every vacancy you can find, they are all on Google. So you just have to really go out there and look for it. Go to our different countries, Netherlands, Belgium, Germany. They all have this, I would say, very well funded institute that could provide you this kind of PhD vacancy where you can easily do it on yourself without any support or without any internship, without any scholarship. And yeah, if you see anything that you like or you might be interested, just do not have any hesitation. Just send out your CV, spam them with your CV, because like I always say, what do you really have to lose by sending out your CV? And finally, the most important thing is, for those who are still doing their master, their bachelor, just remember that if you want to continue further down in the academic world, publication is king. Publication is everything. So this is a little bit of my presentation for now.
Thank you, Dr. Ong, for such a wonderful talk. I think I'm sure there are quite a few questions that will come in the comment section. But before I continue, before we wait for the questions to pop in the comments, I have a couple of questions that I have as well. Firstly, I think, what was your motivation for you to want to pursue your PhD specifically in Europe and specifically in Amsterdam?
Yeah,
Aside, Like
Yeah. Oh,
I understand it was also because it was there was enough funding for it from the state, but what attracted you to like the topic and yeah.
yeah. So, yeah, for my bachelor and master, I already knew that, yeah, I want to stay in radiotherapy. And of course, after my master, I did some internship in some of the hospital in Malaysia. But yeah, I would just like to see the world. So I would like to see, how the same field, how the same technology is implemented in the other country. And I just happened to be in Netherlands. And of course, back then, no one was telling me about all these things that I was telling everyone today. So I was just trying to find my way. And uh, what I did, I would say, it was like my conclusion. I was just sending out, I was just spamming every radiotherapy department with my CV. So I was just sending in open application letter. And I was just hoping for, an internship. Just to have a look, just to have an idea of how the field is uh, done, or how this technology is implemented in the other hospital. And one way to the other, it just lead me to, to Amsterdam. Yeah.
Mhm. That's really cool, actually. That to keep persisting and not to give up, actually, because that can be quite disappointing to face more rejections than you do acceptance. So, congrats to you for that
Oh yeah.
to come all
I
the
have
way. Yeah,
I have received so much rejection. Of course, like I was really just I was just sending out my CV like it was nothing.
yeah. It is really a big step. So honestly, it's quite remarkable. Also, for young career medical physicists and researchers who would like to apply for PhD in Europe, of course, as you said, Google is our best friend. But in a situation like this, how would you? Because I think when people start on early career, it's quite hard to figure out what topic that you
Mm-hmm.
want to
Mm-hmm.
pursue and things like that. What advice do you have for those who either remain open or who are still trying to decide on a topic?
Yeah, I think this. Of course, during your master or your bachelor study, maybe you already have an idea of like what are you more interested in. Like in the real application, or and now of course there are also a lot of talk about AI. So I think for that you probably would have to also have an idea of what your interest is, and then have a look in the publication of what is published, read, educate yourself, and see what is developing right now, what is most current. And
Mm,
and the second thing is write down all your thought clearly, your interests. Write those down very clearly also in your application letter.
mm,
Yeah, so I would
mm,
say, just go out to the publication, go to PubMed and see what is developing, what is the hot topic right now, and in which field or in which specific topic where everyone is pouring the money in. You have to
mm,
remember that, yeah, of course, we are talking about academic hospital, but
mhm.
a lot of time, those research are also funded by a big commercial company. So
Yeah.
of course, you really need to know also what is now the most hit hot topic, and what is developing, and how would you see radiotherapy in the coming 5 years. So during your internship and everything, just try to talk to other people, try to talk to the doctor, try to talk to the metaphysicists, and pick their brain about like what is developing, what are they expecting in the future, and then align your interests with that.
That's actually really good advice. Like to be able to try to match your interests and future proof it as well as best as possible, and to see
Yeah,
what are the upcoming
yeah.
innovations that are really out there and hot topics, as you said, because they're funded.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Thank you.
Like for example, for my PhD,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I was working on the field, but the hospital, or at least for this project, it was also funded by Varian. So for those who
Wow.
know, yeah, Varian is the big manufacturer for linear accelerator. And then back then, this technique is new, so they would like to have also more verification and cleaning implementation, and how to see how it goes. So yeah, this is very important.
Mm, understand. Thank you. I think, yeah, that's actually very sage advice to start with, especially for those of us who, I mean, especially those who've just graduated. I wouldn't say those of us. A bit older than that slightly, but for those who've just graduated, this is actually really, really sage advice. Actually, in the comment section, to be honest, Doctor, there aren't many questions, but there are many compliments. Many have said that you're an amazing professional, and you're amazing, and hello from many places, including Burkina Faso.
I'll try to do my
Yeah.
best. Yeah.
Does anyone have any questions that you'd like to put in the chat?
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, Louisa.
Hi. So, first of all, congratulations for all your career. I think you have some amazing achievements. So, thank you so much for sharing it today with us. So, I would like to ask something that you kind of already answered, but just to specify, what do you think it was the thing that was the biggest challenge that you faced during your career, and
Ye-
what you did to overcome it? You already said some points that you looked for, you got some rejections and then you were away from your country, but and what you did to overcome this.
Yeah. So yeah, everything's does sound quite simple, but I do have to say, uh, from the application, that are already quite a lot of things that you have to do. For example, I don't know which country you're coming from. So from Malaysia, some of my transcript and everything, they are in a local language, which is in Malay, some of them. So that steps alone was quite a hurdle for me, I would say, because yeah, you need to gather everything, you need to have it translate, have to get it verified by a professional, so in lawyers or anything, and then you have to find like a company who will help you to do this kind of translation to local levels and then issue you a certificate. That was during the application, so that was also that was already quite a challenge to get everything right. And of course, this kind of academic evaluation, they are not, unfortunately, they are not free. So yeah, there you do have to pay a certain amount of money also to have them. And of course, like once you get everything ready, uh, for those who are outside Europe, there are also a lot of steps that you have to go through. But luckily, if you applied in this kind of big institute, they have a special department that will help guide you through all this process. And then, yeah, once you are here, just you have to remember that I came right after my master studies, so I didn't have quite a lot of working experience. I did have a few internship here and there. So yeah, so you were thrown immediately into the clinical setting. Then you have to learn quite a lot of things, and above that, there are still like a pressure where you have to really get your publication out. And yeah, if you count out the first year, and then yeah, from the second year you can start producing publication. You need to have at least 2 or 3 publication a year. So yeah, that is also quite a challenge. I did have one publication before, but the entire thing, it was quite new. Also during my master, I have like all the time I want to analyze my data, to put everything, to write everything. But this is different. You do have a time strain. So yeah, I would say that would be also quite a challenge. So that's why I keep saying, if you are still doing a master and still doing your bachelor, whatever data you have, go online, go to PubMed and see what is already published and how can you tweak and how can you analyze your data in a way that is still fresh, and try to get it published. Because once you get into the system, once you get into that kind of routine, it will help you a lot during your PhD.
Thank you so much for your answer.
Okay, I think so far the questions, there aren't questions, but many compliments, Dr. Ong. So
Okay.
I think for that, of course, if we have any questions, we'll send them your way. Thank you
Sure.
everyone for listening. But before we say goodbye, I would like to hand the floor over to Prof. Yong. She's the head of CCOM and to share a few words.
Thank you so much, Leah. Can you hear me? Thank you so much, Leah. And really happy to see everyone's here, and especially to see my friends, Dr. Ong. Just for your information, Dr. Ong as well as Dr. Ng, Dr. Eckhart Ng, both are my classmates when we were doing our undergraduate studies in health physics. So it's so happy to see everyone are still stay in this field. To be honest, maybe same like some others students who just joined medical physics program, we have no idea what health physics was about, and we were not exposed to medical physics that time. So the real environments that the real exposure that we got is actually from our master program, and that is also because we are quite lucky in Malaysia. There are two universities providing the postgraduate program in medical physics. So one is in USM, the other one is in UM, and we are very connected to the hospital. So it's a like direct exposure to the working environments that really give a very good, pre-working experience to the juniors, to the students, and to boost the confidence when you graduate and you can immediately, blend into the working environment. So I'm very happy to see Dr. And Dr. Ong is very supporting to our local medical physics. I won't say local to our regions. So for a few times he had purposely came back to attend our CCOM just to support us. He was not getting any honorarium and he bought his flight ticket himself. He was not asking for anything, but just to, give some, encouragement, inspirations to our local people. And today, apologize as well because I also didn't prepare any speech. I was just interested to come in and see how is this webinars organized by the group. I have seen many advertisements in the past few years. I think you've been running this for a few years. It's very inspiring. Every time I look at the poster, they are very nicely designed, and the topic are extremely, interesting to the audience. I believe, especially the younger groups. So, unfortunately, I didn't join the group. Maybe I already passed the time when Professor Ng is my mentor here. Um, and also, I see a lot of you actually in a lot of conferences. So some of you already leading a big leadership role in the medical physics organization, international level. So that was really inspiring, and to see how where this group, your group, leading, the future medical physics leaders too. So I think we have to thank Prof. Ng here. He has a very good vision since many years ago. And also, um, yeah, I really enjoy the environments here in CFOM. This will be my last year being the president for CFOM. So I'm going to pass over to the new president beginning in January. But from what I learned in the past 3 years, CFOM is a very connected family, I would say. We support each other. We are very friendly. So the way like we talk to each other, we supporting each other are very encouraging. So I think we should keep this culture and strengthen this culture as well. So although now is the end of the year, but I hope next year will be more active year, and looking forward to see like more activities from the group. And you all are very welcome to invite speakers from around the world, the younger one, the senior one, to share their insight as well. So Prof. Ng and myself also, we decided to run a more active role under the platform of ACOM. So ACOM stands for ASEAN College of Medical Physics. Yeah, as I say, ASEAN is a very connected population. We have the same similar time zone, so it's easier to run activities. So, so I promise Professor that we will be more active from next year onwards. So, looking forward to all of the participation from all of you, and I see that you all have taken a very good leadership skills now. So I would like to encourage you and also invite you to join us together. To join us together to contribute back to the medical physics world. Yeah. So that's what I would like to share with all of you. Thank you so much, and also thank you for this opportunity to meet all of you and to say a few words here.
I
Thank,
thank you, Professor. And I would like to get this opportunity to invite you to participate on a project that we are running now. It's a profile on female leadership. So we will
Ah,
be interviewing strong female leaders. So I would like to get an interview with you. I will write to you in a few days, and if you will be able to incorporate with us in this project, it will be great.
sure. Thank you very much. It's my pleasure. Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you.
Thank you.
thanks, Prof. Young, and thank you, Louisa. I just before we leave, we do have one question from the audience, and it's how many years minimum for residency is how many years is the minimum for the residency program for medical physics in the Netherlands?
Uh, yeah, so for that, I would like to answer not only for Netherlands but also for the neighboring country. So in Netherlands and in the UK, the residency is 4 years, and you do so. Again, it is like the candidacy is also a job where you also get paid slightly more than the PhD candidacy. And in Belgium and Germany, that is a little bit different. If I'm not mistaken, so the I'm just saying from my experience, I'm not really sure how the what the current development is, but the traineeship or the residency is more informal. So I think like a lot of country, you were hired and then you will have like on-job training. Yeah, so in Netherlands and in the UK, this residency is very accomplished. So they have like very a clear curriculum of what you have to do within the 4 years and what you have to achieve. And there's an evaluation moment. There's a certain certificate that you have to get. And yeah, so that's quite different also within the countries here in the West in Western Europe.
Do you need a minimum of a PhD to join the residency program?
Yeah, that's quite funny because the short answer is no. It is not a hard requirement, but for example, here in Netherlands, there are only like maximum 5 or 6 vacancy every year throughout through the whole country, and you are probably going against 10, 15, 20 people, and maybe from the 20 people, uh, 15 on 15 of them were promoted, so 15 of them has PhD. So it is the short answer is no, but yeah, if you are competing against others who has a PhD, then you have to have a PhD yourself, also, unfortunately. Yeah.
Understood. Thank you, Dr. Ang. I think,
Sorry, I have a question. Sorry,
sure, sure,
Leah.
sure.
Yeah, I have a question. I'm not sure whether I missed the information just now. So for physicists from other regions outside of Europe, so is it easy to get into the clinical residency without going through the education programs there?
Yeah, like I say, well, everything, of course, everything is always possible, but the most difficult things in this case, I would say, is the language. Yeah, so maybe for UK that's possible, but then yeah, if you have a very strong academic background, that is certainly possible.
Mm.
And but in the other country, you know, like Germany, Belgium, or Netherlands, to get into this kind of residency program, you need to have at least a certain level of fluency in the local language. Yeah, and yeah, that's one thing. And the other thing is, you know, like within the EU, it is also quite that's why I say, you know, what I was telling, it is possible, but it is not as easy as it seems, because when it comes to like working permit and that kind of things, there are also like certain rules where if you can find local people, local resident with the same qualification, then it has to automatically go to the
Mm.
European themselves. So but these rules is a little bit more flexible when it comes to research. Yeah, so yeah, there are still certain rules about it, but for research, is more easier. So again, short answer, it is possible, but if you go through a PhD program and that path, it will be much easier for the
Mm.
transition to the local residency.
I see. Thank you for the sharing. Is there
No
any
problem.
Yes.
platform that we can
Mhm.
like one platform that have all these posting about the vacancies?
Yeah, I couldn't find it either. So
Okay,
for
so
you,
there is none. Mm.
yeah, even for my so what my trick is, you know, like for example, for this presentation, I'm looking for that. So you need to know that most of this big research vacancy is coming from a university hospital. So I would say go to check
Mm.
which are the big university hospital in the country, and then specifically look for each university hospital, what are the vacancy, what do they offer. And the thing is, some of these vacancy they will be online, and then after a month they will be gone. So yeah,
Mm.
check very often. Yeah, every 2 weeks, you know, just go and have a look.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
And just to share a different experience, so I'm from Brazil, and in Latin America, we don't need to have a master degree or a PhD degree, or even be enrolled in an education program to get in residency. So it's a little bit more a direct path. On the other way, I am in Uruguay today, and here we don't need to have a PhD to get in a residence program, but to be certificate, we needed to have both. So we to work and get the professional certification, you need to have PhD and a residence program. But to enroll in a residence program, you don't necessarily need to have a PhD.
okay, yeah, that's good to know.
Right. I think that was a really good question and a very good discussion. Also a very practical one as well. And it's very insightful to hear from both Amsterdam, Brazil, and also Uruguay, like the different perspectives of how the residency program operates and what are the prerequisites. Well, I think for now there are no questions, but of course, if there are any more questions, Dr. Ong, we will email them to you.
Sure.
So for that, we thank you once again, Dr. Ong, for your time, and we thank all of you, all the participants, and all the speakers here today. We're very grateful to have each and every one of you with us. So we hope that all of you enjoyed this session as much as we did, and we look forward to seeing all of you again in our next session. Thank you very much, everyone, and have a good evening or day.
Okay.
Bye
Thank
for
you
Thank you,
now.
so
everyone.
much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Leah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, bye bye.